Do you have a thinking problem? It made me smile so much when that phrase popped into my head yesterday as an equivalent to, do you have a drinking problem? Because it's so, well, it's so true. It's so true that actually most people in the world do have a thinking problem, except, except it's not actually the thinking that's the problem. There is actually nothing wrong with your thinking. The same as there is nothing wrong with having a drink. And that the contemplation of this even took me to the thought, yeah, is anything actually even addictive? You know, these things that we say are addictive, like alcohol, like drugs, like nicotine, like thought, it's not actually the thing that's addictive. The thing is neutral. The difference is our relationship with it. The difference is whether we are so lost in it. We've lost the sense of who we really are. We've lost the sense of where power really sits, which is not in a thing. So we become addicted because we've given our power to the thing. We think the thing is somehow going to save us. And then we discover the thing tortures us as much as it saves us. People will often talk about, I'm tortured by my thinking. My thinking is too much. It's overwhelming. It's not the thinking that's the problem. You haven't actually got a thinking problem. You've got a relationship problem. You've got a problem of not knowing who you are in relationship to a thought or thinking. You've forgotten the fact that you are the power and the thoughts and the thinking are your tool. They're not your savior. They're not the answer. They're not something to cling on to, thinking that if you can just think enough, you'll think your way out of this thing. They are not the thing. You are it. You are the one. You are the power. You are all that you are ever looking for. And the more you return that knowing to its rightful place, the more the thinking and the thoughts return to their rightful place as useful tools in your navigation through a human life. So even if you think you have a thinking problem, you haven't got a thinking problem. You've got a relationship problem. And relationships are always resolved by returning energy and power and clarity to the rightful place where it belongs, with everything else coming secondary to that. So if you resonate with this, if you feel like you have a thinking problem, because it can feel like that for sure, if you feel like your thinking is overwhelming, if you feel like your thinking is too much or wrong, too negative, too scary, people come with all sorts of scary thoughts that they're terrified of, things that they don't dare think because it looks like that makes me a terrible person to think that. If you feel like your thoughts are too critical, that there's too much self-doubt, self-criticism, self-analysis, all of these are what we might class a thinking problem. It's not an actual thinking problem. It's that you need to remember who you are in relation to these thoughts. And that's what we're doing in March. If you want to join the Psychological Enlightenment month in March, that's exactly what we're doing. We're returning you to your rightful place of presence, the presence of awareness that knows all things, including thought. And we're returning to thought to its rightful place as a really useful tool when it's in its rightful place as secondary to who you are. When we no longer give our power to thoughts, believing that they are it, that they are right, that they are true, that they are definite, the more we can prod holes in that experience of thoughts and thinking, which is exactly what we're doing in March, the lighter your experience becomes. the less you look to thought to be your savior, because you know that the power is in you and that thought is there as your support. Thought is just there to support you in this human experience. It's one of your many tools in your toolbox. So if this sounds like something you would benefit from, if thought gets too much for you, if it tortures you, if it overwhelms you, if it gets too much, if it seems there are too many, if it seems that they are too negative, if they seem like they're too definite and you don't know what to do about that, then please, please come join us in March. I would love you to have a healthy, loving relationship with thought, rather than the addictive belief that you need a thought, you need thinking to be okay, or you need your thinking to be a certain way to be okay. That's not what you need. You need to remember that you are okay. And then there's thinking. So I'd love to see you there. Details are below, or wherever. Follow the instructions for wherever you're watching this video. I would love to see you there. Take care. Much love.